Today we're talking about local and seasonal foods because the earth gives us everything that we need during each time of year to help us balance, heal, and thrive. So it's so important that we get back to the earth and make sure we're eating foods that are growing where we live.
With modern supermarkets, it's really easy to disconnect from what's growing in season because everything's available all year long. And so with this demand, growers are using more herbicides, pesticides, GMOs because they're growing out of season, they're growing in regions they shouldn't be growing, they're shipping things across the world, and this is really throwing things off. So to reconnect, try joining your local CSA or co-op, visit the farmers markets, or even try growing in your backyard.
And some people roll their eyes at the idea of organic. But if you're eating conventional, you're just ingesting this large toxic load from pesticides and herbicides. You're also increasing the toxic load in your own body with doing all of that. And this also includes things like GMOs, which are genetically modified organisms, which means the DNA has been manipulated with, which when you ingest that starts manipulating with your own DNA. And while it might be still legal here in the United States, these things have been banned around the world in all different types of countries, including Europe, because they've seen this correlation between these chemicals and GMOs with diseases like cancer, allergies, intolerances, autoimmune diseases, gut imbalances, asthma, and the list really goes on. So the bottom line is you can pay now in delicious food or pay later in medical bills and doctor's appointments.
I will take the delicious food, please. And don't think that if you're going conventional, you can just take it home and wash it off with a spray or some water, because these seeds are engineered to be pest resistant. They're also, the herbicides are being pulled up through the plant. They're in the fruits and vegetables. They're part of it. And once we ingest them, they're also killing off our microbiome because that's what they're trained to do.
Yeah, so the best thing you can do for your microbiome is actually to eat local and organic dirt because in 1 tablespoon of organic dirt there are billions of microorganisms that actually help repopulate our own gut, and we know them as things like probiotics. So you can get this from beautiful rich soil, and that can be on the outside of all of this local produce. So you also don't have to worry about scrubbing this stuff off or peeling the outside of all of this local produce, because that is where these little microorganisms thrive and where they live. So make sure that you are getting this local food with that local soil. You're digging in your own soil in your backyard, or you're standing on the ground with your bare feet. Really get yourself involved in this healthy, thriving soil to help your body thrive as well.
A little dirt doesn't hurt. And so to know what's in season, go to your farmer's market. You'll not only find the local produce that's growing, you'll also find meat and eggs and locally roasted coffee and local honey and bread and flowers and all sorts of beautiful products. And you can connect with community, connect with the growers and the farmers, hear their stories, know the love and the quality that goes into the products so you appreciate them more as you eat them, and know they're made with love, and you're helping your local economy.
Oh, that's the best. And what we made today is this beautiful panzanella salad, which we used a ton of our farmers market produce that we got, along with some bread. And now, especially with these beautiful artisanal breads that you get there, if you don't use them in a day or two, they're gonna go rock hard and stale. But with this panzanella, you actually use that stale bread and tomatoes and all these other juicy produce that you've had, and it will rehydrate, it will distribute all of the beautiful flavors throughout the dish, and it's just so amazing to make, especially during the summertime.
So head on over to simply-seasonal.com, sign up for emails, get this amazing panzanella recipe, and so much more.
Well, that sounds simple enough.
Because it's simply seasonal.
Today we're making a panzanella salad. Now the beauty of making a salad like this is that you can go to the farmer's market, get all of these fresh veggies and produce and some really nice, beautiful bread. But sometimes if you don't eat it on that first or second day, it's hard as a rock. And so this is why in Italy, in Tuscany specifically, they would make panzanella with the stale bread, which will soak in all of the beautiful juices of all of your fresh produce. So we'll just take an onion. Next we move on to the tomatoes. We're gonna slice them into just some wedges. Now we take all of our beautifully sliced tomatoes, add these to the sauce, and even some of the seeds and the juice, feel free to get that in there too, because this is gonna help rehydrate the bread. Now for this panzanella, we're using these beautiful peaches, and we're gonna slice them in the exact same way that we did the tomatoes. Add these peaches into the salad, and we have just some white balsamic vinegar here that we're gonna drizzle on top. Drizzle it with this beautiful olive oil. So this is the dressing, and this is gonna help rehydrate the bread. A nice pinch of salt. And now we're gonna add this gorgeous burrata, which we got at the farmer's market. And finally, we're gonna finish it with some fresh herbs. So basil is what's traditionally used in a panzanella. We're gonna sprinkle that all over. So look at how stunning this is. All of your produce from the farmer's market. Delish.